Today with at Hope Academy, and we're with their diversity, equity, and inclusion team. It is led by Miss Alves. Miss Alves, who do we have here with us today?
Isaiah.
Renaya.
Renaya.
All right, Renaya, Elijah, and Isaiah. Okay, all right. I've heard some great things about Hope's DEI, which I'm not going to keep saying diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, about your DEI club. So, what have been some great things or some things that you're proud of that has taken place this year?
I'm proud of how we all get a voice now, because it's been a very long time since we got to speak our minds and how to be free.
Okay, all right. Remember to speak up. Almost shout.
I'm proud that it includes more than just one race, and you can open yourself up and learn about the people that you're around.
Okay, all right.
Well, what I like is we've been learning about so many races. We've been learning about races. So when I meet somebody with that race, I know how to talk to them.
Okay, all right. So what does when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, what does diversity, when it comes up, what do you think about?
I think about people being fair to others, and everybody should be kind and be fair to everybody. Everybody should have their own thoughts and opinions on everything else.
Okay, all right. Respecting different opinions.
I think that it has something to do with differences. Say we all got different race and different personalities and everything else. So I feel that we should all just acknowledge that.
Okay. You nervous? Because that leg keep moving. Calm down. You all right? You all right?
Okay.
All right. And you all don't have to answer each question. You go around. So, Ms. Alves, what are some great things that you all have done so far this year or looking forward to do?
Well, I have to say, for me, being able to share my culture, my background with the kids for my birthday was one of the most amazing things. I actually got to share my heritage with the kids and made my favorite Portuguese dish and shared it with all the kids. And it's something they wouldn't have here in Illinois because we don't have a lot of Azorean Portuguese in Illinois.
Right.
So that was amazing for me to be able to share, and with these kids accepting that and not going, oh, this is weird.
Right.
So that and the wonderfulness of our students here at Hope who took the time to learn how to say my name correctly.
Ooh, yes.
And
that
that's
matters.
important. Names are important.
Yes.
And so I love that. I love that they took the time to make sure to say my name correctly.
Yeah.
And we have so many awesome things coming up. So we've got a number of committees because Black History Month, we are on a roll. So not only are we doing things like a door decorating contest for the teachers, we are have plans. Next Friday is Go Red Day, which is for heart disease awareness, which, as you know, and we're spreading the word, that particularly amongst the Black community is the largest cause of death amongst that community. So we want to not only raise awareness, but our middle school students are going to learn about hands-only CPR in their science classes.
All right. Well, that's good. And that's a great segue when you're talking about awareness. And, you all just introduced yourself. And I should have said this in the beginning, but, the reason we're doing this is because the district is, committed to recognizing differences and making sure everybody feels inclusive in what we do throughout the district. So this is just a series that where we want to highlight, you know, differences and things that you would want people to be aware of. So when we're talking about culture, like, okay, you can I will look at all of you all, but the camera doesn't know. We had a conversation before the camera started rolling that, yeah, I look at you all, but you're not just all Black or African American. And share with us some of the things that we discussed beforehand.
We discussed how like I found that I was Native American from like my dad he was Indian and my grandma was Black. So after I found that out, I started asking more questions about it, trying to learn more about my culture.
And I think it was interesting what you told me. How did you go about having that conversation?
Because this group, I mentioned it to my grandma, and she explained to me how, like, my granddad was Native, he was Indian. I didn't know that until, like, I mentioned this group, and I met this group, and I started learning more about cultures and stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. So definitely probably would have came up along your lifetime, but now this year, because you was a part of this group, that sparked the conversation with your grandmother. So that's dope.
Okay, so how I found out that I was Mexican and African American is my mom told me that we were going on a road trip to Indianapolis, and I went to my aunties and my uncle's house, and then they are also African and Mexican, and my grandma is fully Mexican. Yeah, that's how I found out, and I start asking me how to speak Spanish and stuff like that.
All right. You know how to speak Spanish?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Un
Okay.
poquito español, eh?
Yeah, right. Say not so quick, huh?
Sí.
Alright. So let me ask you all a question. Do you?
Good afternoon, and please excuse the interruption. Anyone who has a January birthday, please proceed to the cafeteria at this time. Anyone with a
You got a
January birthday,
Isn't this
proceed
something?
to the cafeteria at this time. Thank you.
But we don't want you to miss out on your birthday. So if you want to exit and then come back. Yeah,
Or you
yeah.
can go
just
right
come
after
back.
this if you want, because
You got a January birthday too?
I
Alright.
don't know if they gonna like let us come.
We're gonna continue this. Don't worry about it. We're gonna continue. That's what happened. We'll work it out. You on the spotlight now, baby.
But you know, the interesting thing is we never would have known here at school that she was part Mexican had it not been for Hispanic Heritage Month, right? So walked up, all of a sudden we're celebrating here, and Ruben, who unfortunately had to leave before the podcast, we made his favorite, and I can speak un poquito español, birria. He said I came pretty close. It was the first time I'd ever made it. You got to try it
Yeah.
when I made it for the team. But I went up to her and she said, and I'm part Mexican. Never would have known, and I had taught her for a full year. But had we not been doing that here at school,
Right.
I don't think she ever would have let us know. So what a difference just having the club here, right? Just doing and having our DEI teams has been.
And that's ultimately what this is about. It's like, you know, you're not going to learn more or have those conversations unless you engage with each other. Because most people are not going to just pick up a book and read about it because it's about things that they're interested in. But now, like, you know, you have some Native American, and you probably want to find out more about it.
Yeah, because this group helped me like learn more about like cultures, and since I know more about cultures, it makes me want to like interested in, because like the things that we say are interesting to me, so it makes me want to learn more about it.
So, you know, I was saying, like, this is Hope. We're at Hope Academy, and Hope has its culture, and we have many other schools in the district. Like, they have their culture. It's things that you do differently. What are some things that, like you say, you're proud of about the culture here at Hope Academy?
Then we try to treat each other equally.
Okay.
Like we
Fairly, right?
fairly or equally. Everybody that's not the same as you, you shouldn't like try to count them out just cause they're not the same as you. Like we all, since we all we gonna know each other this whole 9 months of the school year, and we gonna learn more about each other each by day by day. So the more we learn, the more interested and get about you, and people will understand you, the more they talk to you about it.
Great. All right. I'm trying to think of some more dialogue.
Well, I mean, I think with particularly our middle schoolers, truly resilient, absolutely resilient, because we've had to switch on a dime. You know, a teacher's out or this or that, and we turn around and a few others earlier were talking about the fact that they appreciate. Oh, actually,
Yeah, I did say, I do appreciate that when some teachers come here, they leave right away without caring about kids' education, stuff like that.
Wow.
And then some teachers, when they come, they have to dedicate the whole time and effort to the school.
So I'm interested in that statement as a student, because a lot of times adults don't feel like students see that or they understand that. So how does that make you feel when a teacher comes and leaves, or teachers are in and out?
It makes me feel like, I don't know why you even went for the job without caring about the kids. Like you just cared about the paycheck and then you left.
All right. And you mentioned resilience, and I know I've been here, in Decatur Public Schools for 5 years now, and I know Hope has had some mobility. So when we're talking about resilient, I think that would be a word for the culture here at Hope Academy, because you have a lot of staff members who have stayed here throughout the course, and students who have been here throughout the course, steady, doing what they're supposed to do. And I think that does, that falls along the line of resilience. So I think resilience would be a word to describe the Hope Academy culture.
well, and you mentioned specifically that the students recognize the staff the core who stay and who are committed and who care about the students. They know, the students recognize the staff who are in it for the kids.
Yeah.
Those ones who are committed to be here and who are here.
So do you all feel like you have a voice within the school? Like, does your voice matter? I couldn't even finish before you say yeah. No, it's all good.
Yeah, I feel like.
I'm just ready.
Go ahead.
In this group, I feel like I have a voice, not entirely the whole school.
Okay.
The reason why I feel like that is because some people are just judgmental, and I feel like I can't really say how I feel. I have to fake some of it.
Okay. So which deals with diversity and inclusion, because when you say people are judgmental, that throws you off, and you say you feel like sometimes I can use my voice and sometimes not, which is what we don't want, which is we want to go to where, hey, if there's something, so I would say that's an area of development here at Hope Academy that we want to move from, you feel like sometimes I can use my voice, to, yes, my voice is valued all of the time. Thank you for sharing that.
To work on, absolutely.
Yeah, because everything is not great and good all of the time in any environment, but as long as we're trying to address it, and that is one of the reasons why we are developing these clubs and teams at the schools, so we can bring out more voice and make you all more involved, because actually it's more of you all than it is adults. So we're actually here for you all. There's more students in this building than it is adults. So, we do work for you all, but we want your voice to be valued in the process as well. So.
Okay, so I wanted to say that, one thing, when you trying to adapt to the school, like sometimes it'd be hard to adapt because like the differences of races, like since there's so many races that we like, the school is mixed with different races, so like it's populations of different races that you gotta learn about to adapt to what you want, like the place that you in. And I think it's hard for like different races to adapt because they don't know, like, because they didn't learn about it. That's why we need a team, so we can start learning more about it.
Yeah, and the younger you do that, what you hit upon is definitely aligns with my belief. The younger you are, that you learn about different races and engage with different people, the more comfortable you are with it.
Yeah, like instead of you hearing only the bad things about like the races and stuff like that, how about you actually listen and sit there and listen to like what it's really about?
Yep. I agree with you 100%. Yes, your voice matters. Yes, speak.
I feel like some of the kids in the school have to understand the fundamentals and everything to understand other people's culture, because you know some like, let's just say if a new kid came in and he or she, I'ma just say she was like Indian, and she had like the little gem on her head.
Bindi?
Yeah. And people would start like saying funny things about her and stuff, but they don't understand that is culture. So I feel like this is a very good team for everybody to understand the fundamentals of everybody's race and culture.
Yeah, very well said. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Very well said. Is that you had something? You was adding something?
Yeah, well, and we talk about, you know, race and those, and I introduced even to Mr. Dace, and the idea, so I wear my shirt today about neurodiversity. I had to, I had to.
Let people know.
Yeah, because we talk about the differences within the brain too, about those who are considered neurotypical, and then those who are considered neurodiverse. And because my job is as a special education teacher, but you don't have to be in special education to be neurodiverse, because it includes those who have brains who work like attention deficit, which I hate that, because it really is a difference of focus, it's not a deficit, it's a difference of how our brain works. Those who are autistic, same kind of thing, it's a difference in how our brain works. It's a difference in how we are gifted. It just means school may not be designed for our brains.
I like that, in the way we are gifted. We are all gifted, it's just in different ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what makes us different from one another.
Exactly.
Right.
And so when we talk about neurodiversity, it's a different way of being diverse. It's our brains are different. And so just because somebody's in my class doesn't make them dumb or stupid or other things like that. It means our brains work different. And school is a certain kind of way, think just like you might go to the mechanic shop to get your car worked on, and you don't know how to do that. But, and Ruben, who's not here at the moment, he's actually very gifted in that area. So, okay. Equity, absolutely.
Equity.
That's kind of what we're talking about, right? Or we have a very talented artist right here. Not everybody can draw and create in the ways that Isaiah can.
Yeah, that's your unique skill. And look, he said you're right. I know, right? You say you want to add something?
Well, it is a gift, because I don't think many females know how to change a tire. I know how to do that. And I also know how to put rims on the tire.
Put rims on?
Yes.
All right,
Who taught
we're
you that?
talking.
See, when I was younger, I was like really into cars. I was like a full-time boy. So
A full-time, I don't think he was a full-time boy.
Like
Oh,
Full-time
tomboy.
boy.
Oh, I'm like full-time, right?
No. Okay. But
My
my dad used to have his own shop back in Nashville, where I originally came from.
Okay.
And I like wanted to go with him. I was like, can you teach me how to do this? Can you teach me how to do that? He was like, okay, here, so you do this and do that. So like if my mom, like one time my mom needed her tire change, and I was like, can I do it? And then she was like, you don't know how to do that. I was like, okay then. And then I did it, and she was like, wow. And there's a lot more things I'm gifted at, but that's one thing that I feel like I'm most gifted at as a female.
That's what's up. That's your uniqueness. And like you said, as a female, some people would think automatically like, oh, you can't do that. But you have a uniqueness about you, and all it is about respecting that.
Mhm.
So we've been talking for a minute, and I'm gonna end with one question, but then I'm gonna ask you something after. How many of you all eat chitlins?
Like chicken.
Chitlins. You
I
know
don't know
chitlins?
what it's
See, you don't know what it is.
Yeah, I do. Good.
What is it?
It's like a food that African American.
But what is it from? You
It's
know?
from pig.
Alright, from pig, you eat chitlins. I know you don't because of your face. So,
My mom should be here for that. She adores them.
but why I asked you that question is, we eat chitlins in my family. Now, you look at all of us, we're black, African American, and you would say, oh, they all do the same thing, eat the same thing, but we don't. We have different, even within our own race and ethnicity, we have differences, which brings out the uniqueness in your culture. So, and that's one of the things we just want people to recognize and ultimately go back to respecting. So if I had to ask you one last closing question to this conversation is, what would you want somebody to know about your race, your culture, your ethnicity that maybe they don't know? And I'll start out to give you a model. What you said, you don't always have to point to the negative. And for me, as a black male, it is important for me to be a role model and a positive role model, because a lot of times the only thing you see in the media is the negativity about black males, when it's a lot of positive black males who are doing great things out there. So that is something that I take pride in, that I want others to know about my race and my culture and ethnicity. So what would you all say?
I would say that everybody deserves a say so or opinion in everything that happens around them. Like if somebody thinking about something, you should say it. Like, cause everybody needs speech. Because if you don't have speech, then you really can't. Like, you don't have nothing. Everything else is just going through your brain. You keep thinking about it, but you can't say it.
Voice matters. Your voice matters.
I feel like we should not judge one another because they have a different race. Because I feel like I want people to know, just because that I'm Mexican don't mean that I'm like trying to be all special or I'm all this or all that.
Okay. That. All right, that's cool.
You should feel special for who you are, and not just because of what color you are. It's like who you are as a person, instead of like just your color, and like you should recognize that. Like if you don't recognize it, then you're not seeing the picture.
Yes. That goes back to what a lot of people say when they say they don't see color. And if you don't see color, you don't see me, because I am a person of color. Ms. Al, bring us home and close this out for us.
Everybody should feel safe and amazing to be their self in all the goofy and imperfect ways that they are. And it should be okay, because culture, your individual culture as it were, is your race, your background, your individual gifts, whether it be art, music, maybe you're a really good reader, maybe you're really good at this or that. Everybody is unique. All those things together. The term is intersectionality, that's the official term. But everybody should feel great to be themselves, because I know every single member of my team and all the students I work with are amazing individuals.
All right.
They're amazing
Can you
humans.
say what you said earlier about like what about you like? Cause like when people think about Mexico, they think about the food,
Oh,
about the country,
and that Mexicans, that
yeah, that's
Mexican culture is much more than the food.
yeah. That so Ruben was saying that like everybody like if you think about Mexico without knowing about Mexico, you would say the food, but he said more than just the food. And like he don't want people to keep approaching him about just saying like you Mexican, what like what's the food and stuff like that. But
Right.
it's other activities down there that's
And there's other things about their heritage.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Bull riding, the music and the dancing and and I love Hispanic culture, the music, the dancing, it's not
Yeah.
just the food.
Yeah.
So I will share that from Ruben, who was unable to be with us,
So,
because
so
absolutely.
Ruben, even though you're not here, your team represented for you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, great. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank
I
you, thank
appreciate
you
it.
for having us.
Thank you,
for
thank
having
you.
us,
All right, well, that's our first session. Hope Academy, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Team. So, many more to come. Thank you.